Okay, now we're recording. Okay, so this is the Unified Management Portal. In here, the idea behind this is to be kind of a command and control center for operational type things for the field, including like being able to look up orders for somebody, being able to find out when the store will be routed or is supposed to be visited next, data on previous visits, planogram management, and all of that. So in this portal, you'll log in with your SRP company's email, and then your password is the same password as you use to log into your computer. When you first log in, you're going to go up to the top right, and it will say something about, there will be an X in here somewhere. You just want to drop down and go to PUGS 180, and then it will stay there from then on. It's just the very first time you log in, you have to change that. All right. So, Carrie, your need is to see which stores are maybe participating on a planogram, right?
Possibly. I mean, I might need that. I might need to know when the next service date is. I might just need to pull a report for distribution where I'm going to need the reps.
Okay. For a the rep tied to a store or the rep tied to a participation?
So basically, if I'm pulling it by rep, I would need to know how many reps or like how many stores go with this rep so that the warehouse can send the rep whatever they need.
Okay, so let's start with just one option. So which one do you want to find out how to do first?
It doesn't matter. Take your pick.
Okay, so let's say we wanted to look at a planogram. So we just put out the 2018 sunglass shipper, right?
Yeah.
So you can just search in here. It doesn't have to be the full word. You can just type partials and hit enter or hit filter. And then your planograms will pop up here. Approved means it's live. And then you can see all these different version numbers. So those might be for different customers through different date ranges. And that's why those version numbers are there. But we're going to jump into this top one. So do not press any of these action buttons right now until you're taught about them, because they can and will affect everything. This is a live portal. So right now, eventually it'll have restrictions and it won't let you click on these things if you're not allowed and not trained, but right now it's kind of open. So if you clicked this reset and remove from all stores, it will literally remove this planogram instantly from all stores.
That would be a bad thing.
Yeah, so we don't want to do that.
No.
Down here at the bottom, you can see which customers and how many stores participate in this planogram.
Okay.
If you go to the items tab, you can see what items are on it. If you go to stores, you can see what stores are in the current deployment. You can also look at past deployment and future if there is one.
Okay.
So like if there's a store with a future start date, it would show under future deployment. Okay. Image is not here yet, but eventually there will be an image of every planogram. Versions, you can see how many different versions there's been of that planogram. And if there's more than one version, you can click into it and see what used to be on the planogram.
Nice, okay.
Audit, you can see what was done. So this store, Caitlin came in and added it with the start date of the 30th and no end date. That's why it goes out to 9/99. So you can see this whole audit trail of what happened. So reports is where it's going to be pretty useful for you. So if you're looking for a rep distribution, you're going to go there and hit run. And then it's going to tell you Brett Markle for this item has 76 total stores and his route number is that.
Nice.
And that's the date they're valid from.
That's way easier.
Yeah, so you'll just export from here.
Okay.
This other one, store and rep, might be useful too. So it gives you a store list and tells you which rep is associated to them.
Okay, so that would actually be what Corbin's looking for. Where does this also give routing information, or does this not do that?
The portal will. So the only place you'll see route information, though, is at the store view. When you go, let's say you want to see when this store is going to be routed next. and it will come up. It's not there yet. It'll be soon, but it'll come up and say what the past visits were. So it should say past visit date and the rep who last visited it. You'd be able to click on that as a link, and it would go and show you the data from the last visit of what the rep did. And then it will also put future visits or pending visits will be listed, but they'll only be out as far as we've routed. So if we've only routed 4 weeks and this is a 6-week store, there will be no future visit date.
Okay, so when Corbin does the keychain report, the one that I run for him every Monday, it has store information, like your store address, like your store information that you had on that last screen. But then it also has rep number, and routing information, like it's a 4-week store and it's serviced on week 2, day 1.
Okay.
Is there a way for him to get all of that?
Why does he need to know when they're visited?
Corbin?
The frequency helps us when we're trying to filter out shorter cycles, 2 weeks, 1 week stores, and that's what I have been using to help filter it out, because we can't know when they're going to actually service a store on a 2 week or 1 week cycle, because they visit it more frequently than they will actually receive product to put back onto the display. So I use that to filter out from a reporting standpoint.
Okay, you won't be able to do that anymore, I don't believe. So the frequency that it's scheduled for is, I don't know how to say this. So I guess in our eyes, the frequency that a store is scheduled for doesn't really matter. What really matters is how often they're actually seen. So when you go to a store level report, once they have that filtered in there, it will say the average visit. So like if it's a 2 week store, and let's say the rep keeps missing it, so really the average is every 2.5 weeks it's being seen, it will show that the average visit cycle is 2.5 weeks. Not what it's supposed to be, because what matters is what actually happened.
I think that could work to be used that way once that's available. So I think we could use that instead.
Yeah, it won't be in here though. So it's not going to be in any other reporting. So like if you needed to get a store rep distribution like this, it's not going to have any visit dates or anything that you're going to need. You would have to look store by store, and I don't think that's going to work for you.
Ooh, but he could pull this initially, and then he would just have to get.
I could pull both and then link them together outside in Excel, like with either a lookup or some sort of query in Excel. So I could make it work, but this is fine. This is fine.
Well, and I'm not, sorry, I don't mean to try and get off the topic, but I don't think it's fine. I don't think it's going to work, because you would literally have to click each store, write down their average visit frequency, and put that into your Excel sheet that you're calculating on.
So that's not even reportable in that other list.
No.
Is what you're saying. Only when you click into it.
Yes, only when you go to the store level.
I misunderstood. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you want to write up kind of what you need and the reason why, I can talk with Quentin about it.
Okay.
And then see if he can or can't bring that over or what.
Okay.
So Ronnie, what do you think until we get this for Quentin or for Corbin? What should we do?
Well, what are you trying to figure out exactly on the keychains?
Well, it would just alter how we've been reporting it, and so we may have to just change our target fulfillment to account for the unknown of the frequency, the cycle. So I would just need to pull this and see how the data looks coming out of this and what I would be missing in this new format is all. So I can't speak to what I would need right this second. I got to see it first and then.
Yeah, because the data you're going to get is exactly what you see on the screen.
Right.
So that's exactly what you get when you pull it.
Which for the most part is fine, other than with how we have been using it has the rotation there. But that's what I'm saying. If it's not available now, then okay, let me pull this I'll pull it into my other report that I put together the keychain fulfillment on, and then I can see what that does to it and if we need to make changes or requests to queue and go down that road. But if this is all, I just want to play with it and see outside. For the most part, it's almost all there. So it's not a big deal breaker at this point.
Okay. Okay. So any questions on how to look that up?
Nope, not for me.
Okay.
No, it looks pretty clear.
Okay, and then what else might you guys need?
I do have one question. Previously, and this is going to be probably a dumb question coming from me because I don't know as much as you guys on this other side, but Carrie was putting together both lists of DSD and SPT customers. This will contain everything?
So right now, this only contains the SPT participation.
Okay.
The DSD participation is still in Oracle, but it will be brought over to this eventually. I just don't know when that eventually is.
Okay, so
I'll still give you the DSD stuff.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, because eventually, and just so you guys are aware, eventually DSD is going to run like SBT as far as they are going to have exact planograms put in for each store that they have to abide by.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that we're going to be working down the road with Jennifer and Carrie to get everything entered correctly, making sure participation is as accurate as we can, figuring out how we do that. But eventually it'll all be like that. So everything will be run off of actual planograms that the reps have to input again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So it'll also make it so that our participation always stays accurate because the reps have to have the correct planograms to be able to service the store. So it'll kind of force participation accuracy at some point.
That's awesome.
Yep. Okay. All right. Anything else you guys need to know how to do or look up?
For me, no. It just was simple as those lists to pull out to use as my reference point, because then I pull out Telligis data to match up versus what they actually serviced, and then that's how we kind of gauge for Tom's team if a rep went in and serviced a store and did they send an order to us, a keychain order, to send to the named people. So this, from a list standpoint, was pretty much all that Carrie had been supplying me. So I think that pretty much answers that for me anyway.
Okay, Carrie, was there anything else for you?
I don't think so. I mean, this gives me my rep distribution. It gives me my store information. Eventually, I'll have my service information there. So yeah, I think that's good.
Okay, cool.
Do we have access now to it, or
I'll send you guys an email. So after I train people, I'm sending out an email saying what I trained you on, what we covered. Because there's other people in the email that need to know what you have been trained on versus what you haven't.
Yes.
So I'll send that out with a link for you guys and how to log in.
Groovy.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.